All right, guys. That down. Let's move on to the next topic, shall we? Paris, what do we got up next?
Moving along. So, in a crazy twist, while Paramount has been in talks with other parties about potential partnerships, see yesterday's story about the possibility of Max and Paramount Plus joining forces, the majority owner of Paramount, Shari Redstone, has been having talks of her own. So according to Deadline, David Ellison's Skydance Media and Paramount Global, controlling shareholder Shari Redstone, have reached terms on a revised merger agreement for Redstone's National Amusements, Inc. So just 3 weeks after Redstone abruptly pulled out of a planned combination. NAI controls almost 80% of voting shares in Paramount. So John, do we finally have a new owner for Paramount?
No. No, we don't. This is becoming messy. Now, for those of you who are trying to connect the dots, wait a minute. Shari Redstone, Paramount, National Amusement Inc., NAI, in other words, like, wait a minute, who owns what? What's going on here? Okay, look, so here's the basic thing. Shari Redstone is the primary owner, and her family has been, of NAI, National Amusements Inc., right? National Amusements Inc. is not Paramount, but they own roughly 80% of the voting shares of Paramount, which basically means they own and control Paramount, essentially. Okay, so Shari Redstone, NAI, Paramount. This is not specifically a deal of Skydance buying Paramount. Now it's a deal for them to buy NAI. And thus, by owning NAI, they will own Paramount, so on and so forth. While this is going on, because you might be asking yourself, wait a minute, then how are we getting these news about Paramount leadership, maybe negotiating with Warner Brothers about merging Max and Paramount Plus? Because, and I was talking to an insider this morning, they don't believe that the 3 CEOs, that's right, Paramount right now has 3 CEOs. They don't believe the 3 CEOs of Paramount had any idea Shari Redstone was talking to Skydance about this sale. And so they've been moving forward, trying to create some good situations for Paramount, like maybe merging in Paramount Plus with Max. So that's why that's all been going on. And by the way, Shari Redstone is perfectly within her rights to have separate conversations about selling her own company, which is not Paramount. They just happen to own Paramount. The reason I don't think, though, that this is the end of this drama, because while all the outlets, including the major ones right now, are reporting that they've reached a deal, that's sort of true. But buried in these stories is one finicky little clause that tells me this drama ain't over yet. This comes us from Deadline. The Wall Street Journal reported that Skydance, who is trying to be the buyer here, and National Amusements have also agreed to a 45-day go shop period, during which other interested Paramount bidders can make offers. Skydance has been pursuing a deal for more than 6 months. In more recent weeks, investment groups led by Edgar Brothman, Barry Diller, and producer Steve Paul have emerged as interested parties. Private equity agent Apollo, Sony Pictures, and Brian Allen have also been linked to bids. Essentially, what this means is, okay, let's say Paris, you and I enter into a deal. You really like my Stanley Cup. You come to me and say, John, I'll give you $40 for your Stanley Cup. And I say, that's very interesting. I like that. I'll tell you what, yes, let's make a deal, but let's wait 45 days and I reserve the right to see if anybody makes a better offer. Yes. So yes, we have a deal in principle, but it ain't over, because I've seen the way Ray has been eyeballing my Stanley Cup. Oh, every day he walks into this studio and with covetousness. When's the last time you heard somebody use that word in this sentence?
Honestly, never.
Yeah, that's not even a real...
In his eyes, he sees my Stanley Cup, and I'm expecting that he's going to come in here and make a bigger offer. Listen, Sony and Apollo have been sitting on the private books of Paramount for months now, and they may have just been waiting for this. Now that they know specifically what Skydance's offer is, I don't think this thing's over yet. And I don't think it's going to be over in the next 45 days either. Now, look, it might be over. We might finally find out that Paramount has new owners. And if that happens, awesome. It's time to put this thing to bed. But right now, my guess is that this is not done. And
do we have a preference of who you would like to be the new owner?
I still think I'd like to see Sony. I really do. I mean, look, I know everybody gets upset about Sony because of a couple of movies, like Madam Web. But that aside, like Sony has a long and really good track record, and I think they could be best for it. Look, I think the first thing Skydance is going to do is sell off a bunch of the assets of Paramount, which is probably a good idea. There's even word coming out, reports out right now that the CEOs of Paramount have already started to negotiate a $1.5 billion sale of your old stomping grounds, BET. And they're looking at selling off BET for maybe $1.5 billion. So we will see what all comes of this. Hopefully in the next 45 days, we'll know. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. You know, guys, it's one of the most unfortunate human tendencies that we have to try to compare our life to others. And social media plays a big part of that. Comparison is like the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives because on the surface, it might look like they have it all together on their Instagram or YouTube, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Everybody seems to think this deal is done. It's not done. There's a 45-day window here for anybody else who wants to make an offer to come on in and make one. I think there will be other offers. What do you think is going to happen? Whatever you guys' thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.